everyone, welcome back to the channel, and this is Discussion Corner episode 4. Today we've got a couple of different subjects that we want to discuss. The first one, we'll jump straight in, is the news that broke last night of the FA potentially wanting to play the remaining WSL games at neutral venues. There's a whole statement from them and stuff like that saying that is one of the options that they're considering at the minute. Obviously, there's no time frame as to when and where the season will start again and how the fixtures are going to work and who's going to play who and stuff like that. But it seems to just be that they're trying to explore every single option possible.
Yeah.
And where they can do it, that's the safest for players and clubs, because obviously it's not going to be fans aren't going to be allowed to go, so they're looking at the best interests of the clubs rather than fans and stuff like that.
I feel like it's kind of hard to sort of comment on it at the moment, because when you read the statement that they put out, there wasn't really, obviously because it's not an official decision that's been made yet, there just wasn't really much information on how it had sort of pan out and whether the games are going to be played all of them at the same time, or if it's what the sort of run's going to be like. But from our perspective, obviously I think we already know that we're not going to be able to go to any more games this season. I think probably a decision that we make off our own backs to just stay safe rather than risking going and interacting with loads of different people from those different areas just in case. But I think we know that already, which kind of makes you think, well, what really would be the difference in the team still going to the opposing stadiums if it's a safety concern that they're doing it for? If fans wouldn't be going anyways, surely safety isn't compromised, because either way both teams are going to have to travel to this neutral venue, and one team's going to have to travel to the away venue for another home team. I obviously, as I said, it's difficult to say because we haven't really been told that much information about the logistics of the announcement, because it hasn't been made official. But they're the kind of questions that I'd probably want to know if this was to kind of be passed through and really been made a solid decision.
Yeah, because you're saying, if there's not going to be any fans anyway, then the likes of, well, from a Liverpool's perspective, we've still got to play City and United at home. Mm-hmm. Now, Manchester isn't that far. It's 40-50 minutes down the motorway. So what is the neutral ground there? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because United play at that Leeds Sports Village, which was when we went out, what was it? It was 35 minutes maybe.
Yeah, it was really quick on the.
So would that not be classed as the neutral ground in between?
To be honest, I don't really know. The other thing that you'd have to think about with that is that the FA, the WSL have regulations as to the stadiums as well. I don't know whether that's going to be taken into consideration, because they have to have a set amount of seats.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking, well, if fans can't go, does that then really matter? Can they just play it in, I don't know, a tiny little stadium that some of the men's teams in the lower leagues play in? Yeah, exactly, like St Helens or something like that. It could be, you never know. But yeah, I think they've got a massive decision to make in terms of what they're gonna do. Is it gonna be a neutral ground where every team play, or is it gonna be a neutral ground that's between, I don't know, us and Manchester, us and Birmingham, or is it gonna be a set one ground that every team uses? I don't know. That doesn't seem feasible to me, but.
Yeah, in the statement that was going off the Sky Sports news thing, it says the FA will continue to listen to government advice on when a restart could be possible, but that does not look likely any time in the next month due to the 3-week extension to the lockdown in the UK. That means a condensed programme at one neutral venue when it is safe to resume could be considered. So they're saying a condensed programme at one neutral venue, so they're just going to pick one venue that every team's going to play their games at.
Then surely it has to be equidistant between everyone. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So the teams down in London, it needs to be the same distance for them than it would be for the teams in the like us or Manchester sort of thing. So you're probably looking at around Birmingham area potentially. Literally, it's if buts at the moment, isn't it? But I guess the one thing is that they're not making any rash decisions, which is good. They're like taking their time over what needs to be done, because at the end of the day, everything that goes on from now on, whether it's football, whether it's every day, it's proper uncharted territory. Like, no one's ever witnessed anything like this before. So it's good to see that they're taking their time on it, but at some point they're going to have to make that decision. And I just hope that they like relay it with enough information that it makes sense for everyone and gives a reason behind everything.
Exactly. And there's been no game since February, because
That's
before
crazy.
like the whole coronavirus and the lockdown situation, there was a 2-week international break.
Yeah.
So like you've been without football for a lot longer than you actually think. Without women's football for a lot longer than you actually think.
Mm-hmm.
Which like there's still like a good few games to get through as well. Like I think we've definitely got 8 remaining, haven't we? Because we missed out on 3 when there was like bad weather and stuff like that. So like 8 games, if they're gonna try and get it done as quickly as possible, you could be done within like 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks if you play 2 games a week. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's just, then again, you don't want to be like saying to the players, "Oh, you've got 4 weeks to finish the season. Yeah, I know you haven't played since February, but we're just going to throw you in for 2 games a week," because fitness levels aren't going to be where they're at. Players are going to have to sort of have like a mini pre-season before we go into the next set of games, because you're gonna go pretty much what you will do in the summer from when the season finishes to when they start pre-season again. It's like 3 months. So like they're gonna have to go through another mini pre-season again, which is like tough on them too. I know they've had like a bit of a break now, but everything's just come to a halt.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna be able to keep up with the fitness like we've mentioned on like previous episodes of this. So like it's gonna be really hard for them at the same time. But obviously you've got to do what's best, because people will be looking at next season as well. The FA won't be just taking into consideration this season. It'll be next season as well.
Yeah.
But they'll want to get that started pretty much around similar times that they normally would, because they'll say, well, you're at most of your break at this point, so you don't need that much time off in the summer.
Yeah, I think it's right what you say about the pre-seasoning, because even at lower levels of football, everyone needs sort of a pre-season, and you can't really just expect to be thrown back into the league, especially the teams that are competing at the top and the bottom of the table. Like, they're wanting to be on their, if you can call it, best form. I don't know if you can when it comes back to it now, but they're going to they're going to need to be on form, especially if you're looking at it from a Liverpool perspective. Every single one of those players is going to have to be as close to the top of their game close to the top of the game as possible, because they're facing the risk of getting relegated. So I don't think anyone could expect any one of the WSL players to be told on a Friday that they're playing on a Sunday with no sort of way of easing herself back into it. And even if you're looking at a different way, having not trained properly, done the right recovery sessions, there's a higher risk of things such as injuries and just niggles that then put them out for even longer. So you need to look at it from all different perspectives, really. But I think it's definitely doable, and I think the league, I think the league will be finished no matter what. Alongside the Premier League, I think everyone's feeling quite strongly on the men's side that it will finish, so I don't see why not the women's wouldn't. And I think we've actually got less games to play than the men, so if the men can do it, we can do it, sort of thing.
Well, I seen yesterday, I can't remember what I seen. It was definitely on Twitter, but I can't remember like what site it was on. It was that they're thinking like the season could potentially start again on the 8th of June.
Okay.
Which is a Monday, so I'm assuming they're looking at possibly doing like 2 games a week.
Mm-hmm.
But then they've also got FA Cup fixtures that they're going to have to consider. Now, are they just going to get rid of that competition and think, listen, it was quarter-final stage, blah, 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 like, we've got other things on our mind than like the FA Cup competition. But then also, like, you can't just void it for no possible reason, really, other than that. Because if there is time to finish all the competitions, then why wouldn't you finish them all? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I definitely, as I said, I definitely think there's a way. There's definitely a way to do it. And I'm sure that in the FA's interests, like, they'll obviously want to finish it. There's so many ifs and buts if they don't, in terms of relegation, promotion, Champions League places, all things that seem so minute, thinking about the bigger picture, but equally it has a domino effect onto seasons to come, whether in a men's perspective, even if we're using that, who goes into the Champions League next season, who goes into the Europa League, who wins, who does the Community Shield, blah blah blah, everything like that. So I think it's so difficult. I think everything will go on, but I think it will all have to sort of be squished together in a way. I think you'll see a lot more teams having to play 2 games a week, or whatever makes it possible to do.
Yeah, 100%. Another thing that we just wanted to like quickly talk about is the announcement. I think it was on Tuesday that the Lionesses squads have announced that they're donating to the Players Together Fund as well, which is like amazing to see. Yeah, they all announced it on their personal social media accounts on Tuesday.
Yeah.
With the fund was established after meetings between Premier League players. I think it was like Jordan Henderson who led like the whole sort of got the ball rolling sort of type thing on it all. And it was just like in support of the NHS and other frontline staff throughout like this whole crisis, this global pandemic that's going on at the minute, which is like really nice to see that like obviously we're talking about like the whole where's the season going to start, what's going to happen, what are we going to do here, and we're looking at that from a personal perspective, but also like for this as well, obviously for the channel, we love football, so it's like, well, what's going to happen, when's it going to stop? And then you've got to look at like the bigger picture and think about like all the things that are going on at the same time. So, but it's nice to see that's not just the men's players who have to like sort of give up their money or time or whatever. Like the women's football is getting involved with it as well, which is like nice to see like both of them like collectively coming together and like supporting something like this.
100%. I think they probably feel a bit of a sense of responsibility, because a lot of fingers have been pointed, I think, throughout this whole thing, saying footballers should be taking pay cuts or whatever like that, and whatever you believe, it's not really up to anyone else apart from them. And it's nice that they've not been told to do this. They've offered, they've given their own services to do it. It's not a PR move sort of thing. It's genuinely coming from all the players, because they could have easily said, nah, I'm not going to do it, whatever. But I think they probably felt a sense of responsibility, and especially with obviously the Liverpool players, we know what kind of people they are, and we know what they'd want to help in any way that they can, and I think that is the only way that they can at this point, by donating. And I think it's a nice touch that the women's side's got involved, because we all know that when you're comparing the money in men's and women's, it's much lesser, but equally they're doing it anyways. Like a lot of the Lionesses players won't be as much money as much money as the Premier League players, but they're still willing to do it, which I think's a really nice touch as well, and all of them got involved too, which was great.
Yeah, 100%. There was an article that went out yesterday on our Twitter and that on Redben that it's got like a little bit more information on like what the statement was like and stuff like that, and who's involved. So we'll link that in the description that you can go and read as well. The lovely Josh has wrote up about that. Yeah, what a guy. Any other things that you want to bring to Discussion Corner this week that you want to have a little chat about?
TikTok.
TikTok. Love a bit of TikTok.
I'm just obsessed. If anyone hasn't downloaded it, by the way, it's the best, like, pastime you can get. And I feel like I've gone a little bit over the top with it because I'm just constantly on it and constantly
you've gone all in.
Oh, yeah. I don't do anything in halves.
No.
I've gone in and I've been like, you know what? No one's probably ever going to see it, so why not? And it's proper made me gain a sense of rhythm. That's what I'm happy about. Because I was stiff as a brick wall. So it's kind of giving me, because they do like little tutorials. You're like, oh my god, that's so easy once they've like broken it down. So I just have a bit of a go, and it takes up. Like, I woke up this morning, and I was in a bit of a bad mood this morning because I was really tired. But I woke up and I was just looking on TikTok, and I was like, oh, I want to learn that one. And then once I'd started learning it, I actually felt so good, and I was like, yes, I can conquer the world today. So I feel in a better mood now. But it got me up and it got me moving. I actually broke a full-on sweat trying to master one of them. I'm not even joking. I was dripping. But yeah, if anyone hasn't downloaded it, it's not just dances, by the way. It's like funny little skit things. It's
well, that's it.
It's an all-rounder.
Because like I watch a lot of it, but I don't really like partake in like trying to do them. But the ones that aren't dancing, they're just like funny videos and whatever, or like I just constantly have them going around in the end of the day. It's like when like Vine used to be big, and you'd have like the lines in your head and like whatever you'd say, you'd just come out with that. And I was like, my big, because I watched Tiger King, and then everyone's been making like memes and stuff out of that. That's all my TikTok is. It's like all I've got in my head is like Carol Baskin and like Tiger King.
Killed her husband, whacked him.
All I keep thinking is that. Like, even my mum texted me yesterday, she was in work, and she was like, can you send me that TikTok so I can show this girl in work the TikTok? And I was like, which one? And she was like, the song about Carol Baskin. And I was like, oh yeah, okay.
It's the one where the girls are doing all the makeup of him and then start singing the song while they're doing the makeup, and I'm like, oh my god.
But like, some of them are proper done the makeup, and it looks legit like Carol Baskin.
And they put like a hat on, or it looks like Joe Exotic as well. I started watching it with my dad, and we've only watched one episode, but like every few minutes, me and him would just look at each other like,
yeah, we even got to like the juicy stuff yet. We've only seen one episode.
But like, you know what I don't get? Even in one episode, like, I understand like the whole animal cruelty thing, and I do feel really bad that they're all in cages. That's what I don't agree with. So I kind of get where everyone's coming from. But Carol Baskin's going, don't put animals like tigers in cages. But then when you look at her retreat, the tigers are in cages. So I'm like, surely she's doing the exact same thing, but saying that she's not harming them or like doing things. But she's opened a park for people to go and see them. So I'm like, surely she's doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So like, I was just honestly,
like, it just gets even crazier. Like, some of the stuff, like, I watched it on my own, and I watched like it like across like, I think it was like 3 days. I watched it like 3 episodes tonight, and I was just like, and it was quite late because like my sleeping patterns like all over the place. So because no one was awake, I was just like, I didn't have anyone to sort of like try and speak to about it, and like no one else in here has watched it, and I keep saying to her, Hannah, you need to watch it so I've got someone to talk to about it, because it's just like the maddest thing. Like, highly recommend if you've not seen it on Netflix and like you need someone else to watch now. Tiger King is the one to watch.
I can't watch it on my own. I need to watch it with my dad because I get a little bit creeped out.
It is a bit creepy.
So I'm watching it together.
I think the last 2 episodes I watched, and it was like 2 a.m. in the morning when I was watching them, and I like after they finished, I was a bit like, oh
no,
God, like,
no.
I need to put something happy on now.
Yeah, no, I'm watching it with my dad. That's a little. Tell you what, I did watch the other day, which was really good. If no one else has watched it, that little 3-part series. What do you call it? So it was like on a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 9 o'clock for an hour each night, and that was it. And it's called The Quiz, and it's based on the couple that cheat on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and then they get found out.
I watched Gogglebox from last night this morning.
Yeah, it's really good.
A little bit of it yesterday.
So if anyone hasn't watched it, it's only an hour times 3, so it's 3 hours altogether. You don't have to watch it all at once. But it's proper interesting. It's so creepy. And the guy who pretends to be, what's his name? Who actually does, who's like the host? I know his name.
Oh, Michael Sheen plays him.
Yeah, he plays it, but the actual guy.
Yeah, no, I can't remember.
I spoke about it earlier with my dad. I can't remember. But Sounds exactly like him. It's so creepy. But it's all about like the coffin to cheat and blah blah blah. It's quite exciting and it's good to watch. So if anyone, there's a couple of good ideas for you to watch if you're getting bored.
If anyone's interested in us doing an episode of like discussion corner of like what shows we've watched or films we've watched that like we think you should watch, then let us know below. Or if you've got any that you think we should watch, and then we can talk about them on here. Comment them below. We'll give them a watch because we've got nothing else going on, so might as well try and expand our mind a little bit.
Yeah, we need to get it working again.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back. We've got a few guests next week for a few shows. Keep your eyes peeled for them. We won't divulge as to who they are yet.
No, keep it secret.
Some new faces on the channel. But yeah, that'll be exciting. So yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next week with a new podcast. Bye.